So hopefully people are having a chance to join and are starting to come into the meeting now, and I think we'll get started. You're all very welcome to the fifth edition of our CEO Fireside Chats for the France-Ireland Chamber of Commerce. For those of you who don't know me yet, I am Áine Murray. I'm current president of the Chamber. And this is a quarterly series that we do, and every quarter we're joined by the CEO of one of our patron members. And this morning I'm delighted to welcome Isabelle Porte, who is Managing Director of the Ireland branch of CACEIS Bank. You're very welcome, Isabelle.
Thank you, Áine. Good morning, and I want to thank you for organizing this with the chamber as well. Delighted to be here today to present CACEIS. We were talking about the fireside chat. No fireside today, but at least we have the blue sky. So yes. Hopefully after this chat, I will have convinced you all to join our industry and perhaps join CACEIS.
So, very good. Yeah. So no, it's not yet. I think we're all trying to hold out as long as possible before starting the flyers and starting the heating system. Just before we get started, everyone, we're going to speak until just about 10:30. Hopefully, we'll allow some time at the end for any questions. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to submit those in the chat, and we'll come to them at the end. And also this meeting is being recorded as well. So if any of your colleagues who wanted to join today but couldn't, this will be up and available on the Chamber website after the event. So Isabelle, I mentioned that you're Managing Director of CACEIS. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about CACEIS, who they are and their presence in Ireland and where they've come from.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Well, so CACEIS, who we are, we're a European leader in asset servicing, and we're actually one of the major players worldwide. We are the asset servicing banking group of Crédit Agricole. We're 69.5% owned by Crédit Agricole and 30.5% owned by Santander. And we service clients like asset managers, pension funds, exchange traded funds, private equity. We have a total assets under custody of 5 trillion and assets under administration of 3.4 trillion. We have a total staff of 7,000 people worldwide, and we're located in 18 countries with offices in Europe, North America, South America, and Asia. And that enables us to offer what we call a follow the sun service to our clients, which is very important. In terms of the services we offer fund administration, custody, depository services, fund distribution support, execution and clearing, foreign exchange activity, securities lending, middle office outsourcing, and insurance services. In Ireland, we have 2 entities, CACEIS Ireland Limited, who provide fund administration services, and CACEIS Bank Ireland branch, who provide custody and depository services. Both entities were set up in 2001, so we're coming up to a big anniversary next year. And we are authorized and regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Really important step in our history is the announcement of the acquisition of the RBC's activities in Europe, and that was announced last July in 2023. So following this acquisition in Ireland now, from previously having just about 100 people, we now employ 330 people, and we service 245 billion of assets under administration and 110 billion of assets under custody and depository. So we have now moved up in the ranking. We, having been a top 20 player, we are now ranked top 6 in Ireland. So this is really positive for us. Currently, we are located in 2 buildings in Dublin, in George's Quay Plaza, and the Bloodstone building in Grand Canal. But our big plan, obviously, is to house everybody in one building in 2025. We've already started operating and moving teams together to integrate the teams, and that's working well. So a big step in our history. It shows also the group CACEIS commitment, long-term commitment to this industry, and in particular to growing its market share in Ireland. And that's very important. And I also like to say to our clients and to our staff, really, the group Crédit Agricole, not just CACEIS, but the Crédit Agricole group has expanded its presence in Ireland in recent years. And in total, we employ 1,000 plus people in Ireland, including our sister companies, Amundi, the asset management arm of the group, CACEIS, the Crédit Agricole creditor insurance business, and CACEIS. So expanding in Ireland. So it's good. It's very positive for us. Exciting times.
No, it is really, really positive, and it's really impressive growth over the last number of years. Might I ask you just to expand on that point about the commitment to Ireland? Why do you think that is? What do you think has enabled the growth and the commitment to Ireland in particular from the group?
Well, strategically, we were always very important to group.
Okay.
And that was very recognized. We needed to boost our presence in Ireland. And, I can talk about that, but we were experiencing a healthy growth, but really the group recognized that, look, it's not just through pure organic growth. We needed also to we were very much looking at consolidation. There's a lot of consolidation in our sector, and the group recognized that, look, it wasn't going to happen. Expanding in Ireland wasn't going to happen just through pure organic growth. But strategically, we're very important. We also have common clients and that we service, clients who have chosen Ireland to domicile their funds. So, by having a bigger presence in Ireland, it is key to the success of the growth.
Very good. And of course, CACEIS came to Ireland, and you have also come to Ireland. So maybe I'd like to learn a little bit more about you, how you came to be in your own role, how you came to be in Ireland with the group, just a little bit of your own history.
So, as you say, I'm the managing director of CACEIS Bank Ireland branch. I've worked in the financial services sector for a long time, almost 30 years. Time flies. Both in London and in yes, very young. Yes, thank you. So I've worked both in London and in Dublin, predominantly in organizations like Merrill Lynch, Bank of Ireland Securities Services, Swiss Life Management Co. Services, prior to joining CACEIS in 2002. So I was very lucky. I joined CACEIS right at the beginning, at the startup stage, and I've held various positions in both entities, in the fund administration and also the depository entities of CACEIS in Ireland, only CACEIS Ireland, not France. And I have to say, I've really enjoyed the challenges associated with setting up a business, starting from scratch, building teams. We've, very talented teams, which is key to the success of an organization. And that's just been very exciting. It's very important, right from the beginning to have a clear vision, a collaborative approach. And I think our staff, our people understand the need. They needed to be at the beginning and still need to be now to be agile and adaptable because it's a constant evolving industry. And we've also had a tsunami of regulations in recent years. So it's important to be adaptable in this changing landscape. And also for me, what is important as well is our key involvement with the industry through the Irish Funds, which is the association for the funds industry. A number of our staff are engaged in various initiatives. I served as a member of the Irish Funds Depositary Working Group for 15 years and also acted as chair. So that's a little bit about me.
Very interesting. There's so many questions I have that I'm going to try and pace them now for you. You mentioned, first of all, you really enjoyed the challenge of setting up a business. So maybe I can start by asking, of your current role, what's the most challenging aspect of your current role?
I mentioned the people, and really that's key. We talk about recruitment, upskilling, people development, retaining talent. They're all themes in the industry, and for us, CACEIS, as we grow, that's a big challenge for an organization. I think the second one, I've mentioned the changing regulatory landscape, so navigating through challenging times. And the third one is innovation. I mean, it's key for our industry, it's key for every business. We talk about innovation every day, digitalization, AI. So these three are the main challenges. And I suppose my role is to ensure we focus on staff retention, on talent retention, people development also, to ensure that we can address our current needs, but also to ensure we can address future needs for the business, and also to provide an opportunity for employees to develop and learn new skills. I think the acquisition of RBC here in Ireland has benefited the business because we've added about over 200 people here to our organization, but also we've added new functions and new roles. So this is good for people in terms of development, learning new roles, new skills, and hopefully will help in retaining staff, developing people. And also it will benefit clients, as the teams integrate. So very, very important. Similarly, with the changing regulatory landscape, it's really to ensure that our teams are equipped or have the required skills and knowledge to navigate these challenging times. And really that's where, when I talk about collaboration, it's very important. Sharing of information, training. We all talk about training, how we can address the evolving needs. And what is very positive here in Ireland is with the support of very strong control functions. And that's key to the success of an organization, and also to enable us to deal with these changes. The third one is, I mentioned innovation and digitalization. We all know in this industry we're going through a period of material change. And this is why we need to be, first of all, agile and adaptable, but we need to remain agile and adaptable. In terms of being adaptable, yes, I know I mentioned this before, but going through the growth phases, a lot of our employees have been with us a long time, and they've worked in both organizations, actually, RBC and CACEIS. And this is important. It gives them a very good understanding of the business, and it gives them the adaptability they require for in our business. And secondly, when we talk about innovation, innovation is very much part of the CACEIS corporate DNA. Our tagline is in CACEIS is, all our CACEIS employees know, is solid and innovative. That's how we are, and we want to be seen as a group. So as an organization, we know we need to keep innovating. We recognize that it is key if we want to prepare for the future, but also to better service our clients. So this is, it's really, it's more than our motto. We know this is a big focus. It's not just as an industry, but as a group.
I find that really interesting. As somebody who does not come from a financial background, I would often, and maybe some of our audience can identify with this, you think of the financial industry and organizations like yourselves, and you talked about yourself having that solidness, needing that control, needing to understand the rules. And then it feels very, feels like there's a huge gap between that and innovation, agility, adaptability. And they're two really nearly conflicting personalities that you're trying to steer through in CACEIS then.
Well, solid through our financial results. That is very important when we're talking to our clients, but innovation also. We know we can't stand still. This industry is evolving rapidly. And if we want to, when we said to provide a service in an economic manner, achieve operational efficiencies, improving client satisfaction through innovation, that's why it is key, to and we're delighted to have the backing of the group, a large group like CACEIS, who are very much driving some of these innovation, initiatives, which will be key to the future growth of the business.
Okay, very interesting. So now you even start to talk, as you're talking about the future growth. We've talked about the challenges. I may be interested in, well, what are you excited about then at the moment?
So, well, having been with the company for a long time, what I'm most excited about is the integration of the RBC's activities, the acquisition of RBC last year. Because as I mentioned, we were a smaller player, we were top 20, and now we're top 6. So we've a complement staff of 330, having been 100 previously, having had 100 employees. And we're servicing 245 billion of assets, of AUAs, and 110 billion of assets under depository and custody. So this is a really big leap forward for us in our history. I know I've mentioned the group's long-term commitment to this industry, and it's very important to us. But the fact that specifically growing its market share in Ireland, this is what I'm excited about. We have new opportunities now that we didn't have previously, and for expansion, we couldn't have considered them before due to our size. We were top 20, even though I mentioned we had a healthy organic growth. Really, we couldn't have considered further expansion really without this consolidation. So very excited about that. I mentioned that, and this has been recognized recently in a government progress update report on the fund sector 2030, where consolidation is identified as a key trend. It's set to continue. We all know why. Maybe there's pressure on costs and fees, increased requirement for investment in technology, and the need to continuously expand services and products. All these pressures are going to continue. So consolidation trend is here to stay. It's smaller players, very difficult to offer quality service in an economic manner. So it's more and more important to have scale and critical mass. So that's why we're positive. We have the support of group, and we're in a good place in Ireland now. And CACEIS has confirmed recently its ambition to be the EU leader in asset servicing, but also is very keen to remain a key consolidator in this industry. So very positive. And that means now it's changed a little bit the balance in terms of, we're a more important center within group, and we can now have discussions that we couldn't have previously. An example is this year, we successfully set up 2 centers of excellence in Ireland to service not just Irish clients, but group clients, mainly in the exchange-traded funds and the private equity spaces. So this is really positive. Group recognize that Ireland as a jurisdiction has experience in servicing these asset classes, and they know locally we have access to a talent pool who has experience in dealing with these asset classes. So we couldn't have had these discussions, with our group previously when we were a smaller player. So this has opened up doors, and we're keen to continue to explore with group further opportunities to provide further services out of Ireland. So that's why I'm very excited, and I think it's really positive for our clients and for our employees who are going to benefit from more career development opportunities, which would have been more limited previously.
No, I find that really interesting. And it's a trend that I'm seeing from all of the Fireside chats is the amount of investment that's coming from our member groups in Ireland. And constantly one of the key determining factors in that is the talent pool in Ireland, regardless of the sector. So not just in the financial services sector, but the quality of the people here, and clearly our ability to work with other cultures.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry. And we're always pushing this. There's a healthy competition, I suppose, between all the different centres, and we're always pushing group to recognise that Ireland is a little bit in a unique situation with a very healthy ecosystem. So we've the top 10 banks and tech companies who are located here. We've got very good industry engagement through the Association Irish Funds, other associations, FSI, ABEC. We have a regulator who has been very proactive and approachable in terms of development of new products. We realize as a jurisdiction, there's a lot happening, there's a lot we can do. And all the stakeholders need to work closely together to promote this sector. It's very competitive, to promote the jurisdiction and make sure we can drive these required changes and continue to contribute. The investment fund sector is a big contributor to the Irish economy, and we can keep growing if all stakeholders continue to collaborate and work well together and avail of this ecosystem, which is a little bit unique, with in Ireland. So that's what we keep pushing as an industry, but also, as an employer and with our group to attract further business here.
Yeah, and that strikes me as well that you mentioned the ecosystem and the different associations that CACEIS are involved in, obviously the role that you played with the Funds Association too. Do you think that's important for organizations to not just be focused on their own organization, but to be active in their ecosystem?
Very much so. And we're very aligned, our priorities as a group. We're very aligned with the industry in terms of, okay, what are the priorities for this industry? What are the priorities for CACEIS? We're very aligned. So it's important that we continue to work together to push some of these initiatives that are being put forward, by the industry association, by the government, and see, how we can collaborate and drive some of these changes so that Ireland remains competitive.
So you talked a lot about looking forward. I'm interested in looking back a little bit now. So if you take yourself back 5 years, what's the one thing you know now that you wish you would have known then?
I know, and 5 years, when you said 5 years ago, I thought, yes, 5 years brings me back to our COVID years. Challenging. I mean, I know I talk about challenging times, but these were really challenging times. And really, yes, what we didn't know is that really our working environment would be completely turned upside down, and it would change really so quickly. That look at us now working remotely or in hybrid mode, using technology like Zoom, Teams, WebEx, Jabra headsets. And so what I know now that I wish I had known, well, I think, I would have invested heavily in IT, companies, and I would be very rich by now. So, but anyway, so no one knew at that time that our ways of working would change so rapidly and efficiently. And I think it shows, we talked about adaptability. It shows how we can be, and we have to remain adaptable. I mean, in this instance, it's a bit different because really it was complete unplanned adaptability, and that's very different. But it shows how, it can be done.
Right. And actually just there, we have a couple of questions in from our audience. And just when you talk about how you may have invested in an unknown company 5 years ago called Zoom or a lot of the other technical ability.
I didn't, by the way. So.
Yes. And now it's evolving towards AI. And you did mention AI. One of our audience is asking, Stephen is asking, how is AI affecting the way CACEIS Bank does business? Is it impacting on you yet? Or is it more that you're anticipating? Is there a role to play there?
No, it is, and it's already implemented in certain processes that can be automated. So really with the aim of providing more efficiencies operationally. But it will become more and more phased in more and more in terms of automating certain processes on the custody side, for example, and repetitive processes. And that makes sense, you know, to free up resources, and it enables us
more
then
value adding.
add more added value.
And then there's one other question here as well. And you did mention that you yourself came from that kind of nearly startup environment and building the business in Ireland. And one, Corinne is asking if CACEIS does any work with startups on financial support, or is it more established companies that you work with, or do you also work with startups?
No, it is established companies. Yes, yeah, indeed, yeah. So very different, yeah.
Very different organization.
But we actually, it's a little bit different, but we have a service which is available via our online portal, Olis, and we call that the Connect Store. And what we do here is connecting our clients, our asset managers, to some specialist fintech companies who provide services that are relevant to our clients. So it could be in terms of regulatory reporting, facilitating the exchange of files, or providing an ESG solution in terms of reporting to our clients. So that's just to give you a flavor of it. All goes back to what we were saying in terms of innovation and fintech, the importance of the fintech, the contribution to our industry. So we're very involved in that and continue to grow and select fintech for the purpose of enhancing our client service offering.
Fantastic. I'm going to ask another question I have as well, because you mentioned that you've worked for banks like Bank of Ireland, Swiss Life, Merrill Lynch. You're obviously working for CACEIS now, which has Crédit Agricole and Santander. They're all from very different countries. And I'm very interested, did you see different cultures coming through, or is there more of a standard financial services culture? And how does that work, and how does that balance between where you are now?
Yes, and culture is very important to any organization. And yes, it has changed, and we're more international now, CACEIS as a group, which is very positive. I'm no longer exotic, which is very good. I mean, 20 years ago, I thought, whereas now we have so many different cultures, and that can only enhance, our culture, our company. And it's something that we've been working on. I mentioned the integration with the RBC business. We had a huge project which started last year to look at our culture. And really, when we say it's actually a cultural merger rather than a mere integration. So looking at the best of both cultures to come up with a new culture, and really a new set of values. So a common set of values which drive key behaviors. And we've just announced that recently. We've come up with 4 values, which are our new values, and they were announced recently. And I'll let you know today. So the first one is we care. Obviously, employees, our clients, very important. Our priorities, we dare. Very important to empower people, to develop people, to take initiatives. We grow. Very important also. And the last one is we are one CACEIS. So they're very simple, 4 values, clear. I think very catchy even. And hopefully they will set us up well for the future. But it's very important, I think, for the success of this integration. It's very important to have to create this sense of common belonging, and in a positive mindset. So it was very important for us to do this exercise, and now I think to really share this with our employees, and hopefully it will set us up well for the future.
Yeah, no, I think that's really interesting. It's a really healthy approach as well to look at both cultures and take the best and use that to build together. And I think that's probably a lovely way to, unless you have any concluding remarks, I think that's a lovely way to close off.
Well, do you know, I think I'll just leave you with another tagline. I like this one. It's stay close and stay connected. I think we do need to, and not just as an industry, but we recognize that we need to widen our perspective a little bit and collaborate, not just with stakeholders of this industry, but with other ones. And that's why I think this chat today is very positive. And I thank you again to the Chamber, to you, Áine, for organizing this.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us this morning. And I think Isabelle has summed up very nicely the objectives of the Chamber as well there. So let's all stay close and stay connected. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you again, Isabelle.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye all.